Well, hey crafty friends, it's Hiedi Scott with DiyDreaming, and on this video tutorial, we are gonna make, where am I? The absolute cutest table runner. We're gonna be using some red canvas that looks just like this. It's kind of a thick cotton. It came from Walmart in the fabric department. We're going to be using some red and cream ticking, and this is my last little scrap, and my Walmart doesn't have it anymore. It's probably all sold out at this point, but maybe yours does. We're going to be using some vintage buttons, some Dollar Tree shapes to trace, and I'm going to show you this idea with this awesome Christmas all over pattern stencil. And no sewing, we're just going to hot glue. So it should be really fun, and I'm thinking that you may want to do this. Okay. Also thinking that I need to put my camera just a little bit lower, so bear with me for just a second. This is always a struggle. Okay. Now I think that you can see okay. Let's see. Let me come down a little bit. All right, well, I give up on that. Okay, so like I said, there's no sewing involved in this, and basically what I did was I just took some of this canvas and I cut a little snip and I ripped it. And I'll show you how to do that in case you've never done that before. Table runners can be anywhere between maybe 16 inches to 36 inches wide, depending on, the dimensions of your table. So I'm doing 24 inches wide, and I think this is around, let's measure. 1, 2, it's a little bit, it's like 5 feet, roughly 5.5 feet, something like that. Long. So 24 inches wide by 5.5 feet long, but yours can be whatever size you need it to be. Okay, to rip fabric, and this is strangely satisfying. I mean, that sounds weird, but it really is. Okay, all you're gonna do is just take a little snip into your fabric, and then you just pull it. And this kind of canvas will tear straight, and it'll give you these nice little frayed edges. And then when you iron it, it'll look crisp and great. So this red canvas at my Walmart was around $6 a yard, roughly. And I think that the ticking was as well. And I'm just using regular old hot glue. We're not using a special fabric glue. This table runner that we're making is for decoration. So it's not something that you're gonna ever wash, all right? And you may not even wanna use it while you're actually eating dinner at the table, because it's gonna have buttons on it, which could make it easy for somebody to tip over a glass. So it's purely decorative, but it's super cute. It comes together really quick. Okay, so after I got my table runner ripped, then I figured out what the half point was, and I marked that, okay, just so I would know roughly where I was. And this is what is on one side, and we're gonna do the other. I'm gonna show you everything to do the other side. So let's make sure I'm working on the correct side of it. I think I am. Just double check that, because it would be such a bummer to have done this whole thing and have it on the wrong side. Nope, I was on the right side. Okay, so we're gonna be doing this end. All right, I decided that I wanted a little band of the red and white ticking to go across the bottom. So this was just torn, same thing, but I tore it across the design of the fabric. And I'm going to show you how we glued it on. So I'm going to snip the end off of one, and then we're going to pull the strings out so it looks, you know, kind of distressed on the edge. Okay, and then I'm just going to mess that up with my fingernail a little bit so it doesn't look like it just happened. Okay, and you're going to have glue strings for 10 miles. Let me just warn you about that. You really are. But it's worth it. Okay, let's do the other side. Okay, so here's our little strip. It's just going to go towards the bottom. I want it to be relatively straight. I'm using my Surebonder Cool Shot low temperature hot glue gun, which is a mess. It's got strings all over it and glue all over it, but this is a project where you could get burned if you were using hot glue. So I definitely recommend that you use a low temperature hot glue for this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on one end and just do a quick little band of some hot glue. And then I'll pull it out. Oops. And lay it down, and then we'll go this way. Okay. So this is decorative. Keep that in mind. And what I mean to say by that is don't put this in the washing machine because it will be completely destroyed if you do. If you need to spot clean it, you could probably just use, you know, a rag and some cool water to spot clean. But the second you put this in the washing machine, it's gonna all unravel and the glue will come up and you'll have buttons all over, and so it's not meant to, you know, be washed. And if you are a good seamstress, you obviously could sew this, or you could use some of that, what is it called? The stuff that you put underneath and then you iron it. You could do that as well, but I opted for the easiest method, and I know that not everybody sews and not everybody, you know, would have access to what they need, but most of us here at DIY Dreaming have glue guns and know how to use them, so I just opted for the glue gun. Okay, so when I'm all finished, I can use a heat gun to sort of melt away any little bits that are stuck here. Okay, the next thing is to make our trees. And this was my inspiration. This is an ornament that I made that's on my Christmas tree. And when I made this, what I did basically was I took this wood Christmas tree shape that's a magnoliadiy.com surface, and I just laid it on my ticking. And for the trees, I tried to go up and down as straight as possible. And then I traced it on the back side with a pin, okay? So you can use whatever shape you like. This was just handy for me. So I ended up with this. Can you see where I've traced it? And I'm just going to cut it out. Put my glasses on so I can see. So what is everyone doing today? I would have done a ticking ruffle on the ends of my table runner, except I didn't have enough ticking fabric left. So next time I'm at Walmart, and I always check to see if they have this fabric. Next time I see it in stock, I'll definitely buy more, because I'll use this same red and cream ticking, a lot of it, for Valentine's Day projects, and then I'll use it for 4th of July too, and then Christmas. So it's super versatile, and I totally love it. It's totally my style. This whole project though, if these aren't your colors or this isn't your kind of style, you could do this whole project in whatever colors fabric you like. And just totally make it your own. Okay, easy peasy. Strings off. Okay, so there is my Christmas tree. What do you guys think so far? Anita says she's making the Jesus wood ornaments. Yay! Those were so much fun. If you missed that video, you should look back in my videos and watch it, because they were Jenga block, Mary, Jesus, and Joseph ornaments, and they were super easy and really fun, and they'd be sweet to do with your kids. Okay, so this is our tree, and I did 3 on the other side. So before I came live, I cut out 2 others, and there's no magic to how you lay them out. It's just what you like. But so I wanted my tree in the center to be a little bit lower and to be in front of the other 2. Let me see if I can back up just a little bit so you can see better. I'll be a little bit further away, but then maybe you'll have more of a view. Yeah, that might be better. Okay. So I want to just look to see if I have these at all. Oh gosh, no. They're not even remotely. Okay, so I'm going to start with the stems, or the trunk bases of all 3 trees, and get those glued down just to hold everything in place. I know there's different kinds of fabric glue and things like that that you could use. If you didn't want to use hot glue, I'm just doing the easiest thing that will be, I think, available to the most amount of people. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip this center tree over, because I want to glue the outside ones down first. And they don't have to be super cemented down, because again, this is just for decoration. So what do you guys think? If you like this project so far, give me a this or a this, or say something. And also, I would love to know if you guys have ideas that I haven't come up with for decorating these trees. I'm keeping mine pretty simple and just using vintage mother of pearl buttons, because that's, you know, my style. But your style is probably different, and I would love to know what you think would be fun to decorate these trees with. So we're also going to be using some Dollar Tree shapes to get some Christmas stockings and some ornaments that we're going to cut out. And I'm going to show you this option in just a second where you can almost create your own fabric using a stencil and some ink on cream colored canvas that you could alternate with this. So I'll show you what that could look like in just a second. Okay, so I have the two outside ones down, and let's just you can kind of roll the glue strings up into little balls by doing that, and then get them off that way. Okay. So this is what I have so far. And it's cute just like that. It really is. But of course I'm going to take it a little bit further. But let's talk about how you can mix it up a little bit and create your own fabric design if you would like to do that. This fixed here for just a second. Okay, that's better. All right, so before I came live, I took this stencil right here. It's really cute, and it has the Christmas tree theme, and they're super cute Christmas trees. Oh my goodness. So I took this stencil and some cream canvas, and I just stenciled one big square using this stencil over some cream canvas, and I used the ruby red Magnolia Design ink. It's not chalk paste, it's ink, and it's designed for fabric. Okay, so I stenciled a big piece, and this is just what I have left because I have been playing with it. Look how cute those Christmas trees are. Oh my gosh. And there's little snowflakes and ornaments and packages, and it's adorable. Okay, so I did the exact same thing with this as what I did with my ticking, and I just took my little tree shape and traced it and cut some out, and this is what I got. Cute, huh? And it totally goes with this red. So I could have used that instead of the ticking fabric. Can you see? And then I have some other shapes that I'm going to show you in just a second, but I also cut out, for example, one of these little ornament shapes out of this fabric as well. So I just wanted to give you this option so that you would know that that you don't have to use the ticking fabric. That especially if you can't find it, you can make your own special fabric just using plain cream colored canvas, also from Walmart, under $6 a yard. This stencil, and then whatever color of ink you would like. I used ruby red. So that is an option for you. And I'm gonna just set these aside because I'm gonna proceed with my really simple ticking design. But you could do it however you would like. Okay, then the next thing I did was I took this little shape, which is from Dollar Tree. It's one of those little wooden ornaments. I took this shape and I took this shape. And I traced it on a piece of my ticking, and I cut two of each. Okay, so here's one of the Christmas stockings that is traced, and I'll just cut that out. And we're gonna doll it up a little bit with some fur around the top of the stocking. But we're keeping overall the look of it pretty simple. It's gonna go This is for my house, in case you hadn't guessed. For my kitchen table, once I get my kitchen table cleaned off. Right now it's covered in everything from the kitchen because we're in process of getting new countertops. And so, oh my word, I have a huge disaster here. But when that stuff is all put back in the cabinets in the kitchen, then I'm going to put this little table runner on my kitchen table, and it's going to go perfect with everything else that I have going in my red and white and cream. Okay, and I cut these kind of at an angle. I just wanted to point that out. The trees I cut straight, but these I cut at an angle. Okay, so I have 2 stockings and 2 ornaments. All right, and to finish the stockings off, this was some ribbon that is fur and it's wired that came from Walmart in the Christmas section, and I'm going to create a little band for the top of our stockings using this. It is very messy. It sheds like crazy, but that's okay. All right, so let's just put a little glue on the top band of this stocking. Put this on here. Okay, and obviously I just was not careful how I cut it out, so I'm gonna trim it down. We're going to be using some vintage mother of pearl buttons in just a minute. And I want to know who my button lovers are. I am a little button crazy. Mother of pearl is my favorite. I also like metal buttons, but I don't know. Mother of pearl is just my absolute favorite. Okay, so here's another one for the other stocking. I definitely want to see your projects if you guys end up doing a Christmas table runner, this idea. I would love to see what you do. You can share those pictures here, or you can share them over in our group that I set up for all of us to share craft ideas. That group is Dreamy DIY. And if you haven't been over there to see about joining yet, just type Dreamy, D-R-E-A-M-Y, do a space, DIY in the search bar here at Facebook. It'll take you to the group, answer the questions, which are pretty simple. They're just, do you promise that you'll be nice to the other crafting people in the group? Of course you do, you're all nice. Do you promise that you won't use this group to sell any goods or whatever, kind of a business you might have, whether that's wreaths or dolls or whatnot. And that third one is, will you agree not to share other crafters' videos? That's it. And if you say yes, then we'll say, great, come on in. So I'm gonna do looking to see how do I want this to be. I'm alternating them, so I have a stocking at the top on one and a ornament on the other, and they're just kind of winky wonky. Next up, we're gonna do the buttons, which is the really fun part. Okay, so let's just quickly tack these down. And I'm using, in case you hopped on late, you should come back and watch the whole video from start to finish. But I'm using my Surebonder Cool Shot Low Temperature Hot Glue Gun. This is just the regular, whoops. It's just the regular Surebonder glue sticks. It's not the special kind for fabric. That kind, the special fabric stuff is, it's white, and sometimes it can show up on darker colored projects, and it's also a little bit more expensive, and you really don't need to use a special fabric glue even on fabric unless it's something that is going to be washed. So I usually don't. Okay, we're getting there. Let's see what else. Let me do this one. Okay. This is what we have going on so far. Isn't that adorable? Yes, I think it really is. Very adorable. Okay, here's the side that I've already finished, and we're going to finish this one that we're working on. Look at the buttons on it. Isn't that cute? I even put buttons on the stockings. So I don't know if I have the right kind. Let me figure out how I can fold this so that we can work and I don't have lumps and bumps. Okay. All right. Okay, so I am just using a bunch of mother of pearl vintage buttons in different sizes. And I pulled out a bunch of them right here, but let's grab some more. I like to vary the buttons on the Christmas trees so that they're not like small, a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger, just so that it's random. I think it looks, personally, I like that look better. So I want each one of them to have at least one larger size button. Ooh, and look how pretty this one is. It's carved. Ooh, this one's really pretty. Really pretty. And I love some pretty little ones on here too. All right, that's plenty to choose from. And I will come back to look for something special for the stockings because I want to put a little something at either side of it. But basically all you're going to do is just lay your buttons out at different, the bigger ones out to start at different levels. And that's what I did, is I glued the big ones down first. And then I built from that. Oh, thank you, Tammy. This is totally my kind of a project. Oh my goodness. Totally. Okay, so then I'm gonna just kind of look and see what do I have. It's an interesting button. I don't think I'm gonna use that one. I want them to have a variety of different like colors, because some of these and sizes for sure. Okay, I think I need some more. Every time I go to my favorite antique mall, I'm always looking for the jars of mother of pearl vintage buttons. And I have seen them there a few times, but the thing is, if they're marked, you know, I'm frugal. I've said that a lot to you guys. But if they're marked like, I don't know, $40, and most of the jar is not even good buttons, I'm definitely not going to buy those. So occasionally I'll find, I'm always on the hunt for a really good deal. And occasionally I will find those. All right, I'm gonna just go with what I have, because I could pick at my buttons all day long and still not be sure that I have the ones that I want for positive. Okay, let's do this center one first. I'll lift it up to show you how I just have a random size. It's not like smaller to bigger or anything like that. So some of you guys have told me that you inherited your mother or your grandmother's jars of vintage buttons, and that you remember as little people, little girls or little boys, having your grandmother or your mom let you just play with the buttons in the jars that they collected. And I have to tell you that when I hear those stories, I feel so envious, because my grandmother had all that stuff. She was a great seamstress, but I wasn't interested, and I guess it was never, I don't remember it ever being an option. And so when she passed away, my guess is they just donated or even tossed all of that. It makes me sick to think about. So tell me in the comments if you are one of those fortunate people that remember playing with your grandmother or your mother's buttons, and if they were given to you. I don't know if this next generation has any appreciation at all for that kind of thing or not, you know. Something smaller. I'm not loving anything I have here. Let's see, that could work right there. So I don't know what happens in the next generation, if there's people that have an appreciation for things like this in our in our in my grandmother's day, people hung on to everything like that. When a piece of clothing was worn out, they would clip the buttons off of the piece of clothing and save them. And then they would repurpose little pieces of the clothing to make, you know, those patchwork quilts and all kinds of sweet things like that. I'm gonna cut these two apart and we're gonna use them on the stockings. This is a perfect example. This is something some women, I don't know how long ago, this is what makes this special to me. Some woman saved these buttons. They probably came off of a blouse and they're still on the thread. And this might be part of the blouse that's even here. But she saved them because they were, you know, they were something special. And in this day and age, we just throw everything away, which is so sad. Okay, I'm about finished and I'm going to pick it up and show it to you. And then I'm going to spend at least 10 minutes cleaning glue strings off of it. I'm not even kidding. Get this stuff out of the way so that I have room to show you. All right. And I'll probably tack it down a little better in a few places, but there we go. What do you guys think? Isn't that cute? And here's the other side that I did before I came live. So I have this beautiful table runner that you could continue embellishing. I'm not going to because I love it just the way it is. But on each end of it, it will have these trees with buttons, and yeah, what do you guys think? Isn't that pretty? So everything was made with hot glue, no actual sewing. I mean, really not even a lot of cutting. The fabric itself I ripped. And then I used hot glue to attach everything. I used these funny Dollar Tree shapes to trace. They're just the little wood ornament things that you can get there to get my stockings and my little ornaments. I used some of this funny furry white ribbon for the little cuff on the stockings. And then I used this shape, which is a magnoliadiy.com Christmas tree shape, to trace to make my trees. And if I had wanted, I could have done the whole thing, and I could have added a little variety to it with this fabric that I made using the Christmas pattern stencil and red ink. But I opted to keep this simpler because here's the thing. I really wanted to use buttons. And I felt like when I was looking at it as I was getting ready to come live, that it was going to be just too busy if I did that other fabric and buttons, and I wanted my Christmas trees to have buttons on them. So, and it looks like this one could use one more. Anyways, that was the project. I hope you liked it. If you did, tell me, do a this or say something in the comments. Feel free to sprinkle this to your social media if you liked this kind of a so easy, quick, super affordable type project. I would love it if you would let your friends and family members know by sprinkling this video to your social media. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you want a link to the stencil that I used to make my own fabric. It's really cute. Look how cute those trees are. I'm sure there's lots of other things I could do with this. I may just make a big pillow. If you want a link to this stencil, or if you want a link to the red ink that I used for that. And I'm gonna hop off now and read all your comments. Thanks so much for watching. And I will see you. I'll get pictures of this probably just here in my craft room today, but once my kitchen is all put back together, I will get pictures of it on the table. And I'd love to see your pictures too if you decide to do something similar. So have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys later.